Hey there, hope you're doing well. In this video, I wanted to share a very simple strategy to turn a failing YouTube channel around, okay? Now, first and foremost, let's address the elephant in the room. I'm no one to be giving any kind of advice when it comes to like succeeding on YouTube and all that type stuff. I'm just a student and I'm learning as I go, right? What I'm sharing with you right now, right, is not something that I know from experience, right, or this is just something that I have learned from people who are way more experienced, way more capable, and a lot smarter than I am when it comes to the topic of YouTube success. Okay, these are people that I'm looking up to, learning from, and all that type of stuff. And very specifically, I'll give you the name of the channel. I believe is yeah, his channel is his name, right? That's his brand. Is the name of the person from which I heard this, right? It's a guy called Ed Lawrence. You can look that up. He's huge. Well, I guess that's relative, right? But anyway, you know how they always say you don't have to be an expert to teach other people, right? You can, as long as you are one, two, three steps ahead of somebody else, what you have to share can be valuable to those people who are just a few steps behind you. Now, this is not to say that Ed Lawrence is just a few steps ahead of me. No, he's way ahead of me, but this is an example of someone that I'm learning from. And I'm saying all this to say because some of you might look at him and not feel like, oh, he's like a big deal, whatever the case may be. But anyway, he has done enough, right? He's made millions of dollars off of his YouTube channel, and basically his brand and everything that he does and teaches is about showing businesses how to scale their business with YouTube. Okay, so in many ways, he's an expert in my eyes. Anyway, right? He's an expert in my eyes, and so that is the person from which I got this tip. And I've heard other people, other bigger name YouTubers, mention this as well. Okay, and here's the thing, right? So in simple terms, okay, when you're starting out, when you're first starting out, which I guess I could consider myself as one that's still starting out, considering how young my channel is and how little it is, right? It's important. The suggestion is you've got to put out a lot of content, right? You got to put out a lot of content as quickly as possible. Basically, fail fast, right? Put out whatever, as much as you can within whatever niche you've decided to go after, right? And the whole idea, it's kind of like the whole idea basically is to see what works, okay? And once you discover what works, right? Like if you're having videos on various different topics, sub niches under one overall big niche or one overall bigger niche, right? If you putting out content on several different topics, and you see something that tends to stand out, right? And I've seen this, I've experienced this big time, right? Where you have one video, or just a handful of videos, right? A handful of videos that do exponentially better than the rest, right? The ones that by your standards go like semi-viral, whatever the case may be, right? If you have any one such video, that video is the topic of that video is the one that you need to double down on if you want to start seeing yourself grow a little more quickly, right? Like basically just capitalize on that topic, and basically go deep into that specific topic, right? Since it was the one that got you some traction, got you some subscribers, got you lots of views, and maybe that's where you need to lead, right? That's where you need to head to. Well, I have got one of such videos, right? I have actually, I would say two. One of them was, I think these would be my two top best performing videos. I think maybe one of only two or three videos that I have that has beyond 1,000 views. One of them was on the topic of threads, okay? Like, and maybe it's a little bit of a coincidence, but maybe that is kind of the niche that I need to like me if like let's just say start small and go dig deep and try, become like a little bit of a semi authority in that niche, and then as you get bigger then you can start expanding because your channel has, so to speak, a little more clout, a little more authority, which makes it a little bit easier to break into maybe some other similar niches, right? So you're essentially starting small, right? Dominating in a small, becoming a becoming a big fish in a small pond. And once you get that, you want to start expanding, where now all of a sudden you go from being the big fish in a small pond to a regular fish in a bigger pond. Let's just put it that way, okay? So one of I think the two videos that come to mind for me right now that have done way better than the rest of my videos, right? One was on the topic of threads, okay? Specifically on the topic of threads. So the idea might be like, maybe I need to, I'll probably start going digging deeper into success with threads, right? Start and this is the thing about it, right? I'd mentioned in a previous video that I don't want to get stuck. I don't want to like niche down to any one thing, right? But in combination with that, I did say I'll start doing some other random stuff here and there. I just may, but I think I'm going to gear a good at least 70% of the content that I produce on the channel. I think for the time being, it's going to be heavily geared towards threads, right? And that works out. It's pretty good. It works out considering what I'm doing at the moment, right? In a lot of my recent videos, I have talked about, my journey on threads quite a bit. I've even recommended a course on threads, which is the one that I have linked in the description right now. You can get access to that, right? If you're interested in growing on threads. As I speak, threads right now is a gold mine. It's a gold mine hiding in plain sight. Like the money that I see people making on it for doing something so like relatively simple. Obviously, there is a method to the madness. There's some technique, not technique. That's not the right word. The strategy. That's the word I was looking for. There's some strategy to succeeding on threads, and that's where like that course comes into play. The one that I mentioned, that's in the description below. So that's there for you to check out if that's something that if that's something you want to do, right? If you're interested in that at all, right? So that was one. One of the videos that went that strongly outperformed all the rest of my videos on my channel was one on the topic of threads, and then the other one was on the topic of YouTube, right? Which makes sense, like becoming like it was basically, I think it was titled 4 Reasons to Start a YouTube Channel, basically along the lines of along the lines of being a channel that is, I guess, kind of encouraging people to get on YouTube and maybe teaching YouTube stuff. But like I said, that is just not something that I want to heavily focus on, because for one, I don't know that I don't have the I don't have there's a lot of people doing that, let's just put it that way, and a lot more qualified people. So I don't think YouTube can do without another YouTube expert wannabe, let's just put it that way, right? Let's just put it that way, okay? Again, but I should rephrase that, because it may seem like I'm trying to deter people who are interested in becoming like creating content on how to succeed on YouTube, right? If you're not an expert, right, if you're a beginner and that's the area you want to go to, you can still tackle it without having to be an expert. Just do it, like just present yourself as a student and someone who's learning as they go and sharing what they learn, okay? And then if you get bigger, you become more of an authority, then you can start positioning yourself as an authority and as an expert, right? But having said that, I have no interest in doing that whatsoever when it comes to like I don't have no interest in focusing on being like a YouTube guru or YouTube expert, right? At this particular point in time, I would, if I'm forced to like, if I'm forced to like follow this strategy that I learned from Ed Lawrence, all right, with regards to the simple strategy to grow a struggling YouTube channel. The topic that I would go heavily on is threads, right? And I think that is the, if I had the ones, yeah, the single one most popular successful video on my channel is on the topic of making money with threads. Okay, so that worked. It got me the most subscribers of any, that one, and I think I had another one too on ClickBank as well, right? Making money on ClickBank. Those actually, the one on ClickBank is not necessarily, it never crossed 1,000, but in recent times it's been one of my better performing videos, because in recent times I can barely even crack 100 views on a video, right? But that was one of the more recent ones that crossed, that's like 200 or 300 views or something like that. But anyway, so it's going to be heavily ClickBank, threads, a combination of the two, right? Maybe using threads to, to make sales on ClickBank. But anyway, that's where I'm looking, and I'll take it from there. If you have any questions, comments, or suggestions, put them in the comment section below. I'll be sure to respond. And if you want to get started yourself making money on threads, check out that link, first link in the description below this video, and I will catch you in my next one. Ciao.